Here with Secret Zai on day 3, TI5 group stage. You guys are doing pretty well, tied for first.
Yeah.
Anything trip you guys up, or has everything gone pretty much according to plan?
I think we lost in total 2 games. The first one was against Fnatic.
Yeah.
And I guess I have to make excuses for our losses. So for the first one, I guess we were just trying to figure out how to draft properly. Because it was really early in the tournament. It was like
second game.
Our first series, yeah. So we hadn't really figured out what people prioritized in the tournament yet. So we kind of got outdrafted really badly, and we lost with like 25-2 or something. It was quite this time. And I think the same thing happened against LGD earlier today. We wanted to try playing against Leshrac, which we usually don't do because we think that hero is pretty good. So we drafted like a lineup which really didn't do that well against Leshrac, and we just kind of lost.
Yeah. Is that hero is that done? Are you guys done experimenting, or is it just like we're gonna ban it now?
I mean, preferably we would ban him, but it's like if you figured out how to beat Leshrac, you have like such an advantage over all the other teams because they still think like Leshrac is up here.
Yeah.
But if you can beat it, it's like their most prized possession, their Leshrac. You beat it, it's like they're broken or something. So I guess we're gonna keep theory crafting how to beat it, but I'm not sure if we're gonna dare actually try to play against it again.
Because that's interesting because like it seems like the Western and Chinese teams have different ideas about what the group stage like Leshrac seems to be like EG led it through a whole bunch of times too. Did you guys just decide together like, hey, we're gonna try and beat this hero, or just?
I think it's the most appropriate way to approach group stages. Just like, because last year, speaking like as I played on AG, speaking out of experience or whatever, we had a couple of heroes we couldn't beat at all. Like we didn't have responses to DP or Razor in mid, which kind of, ultimately maybe made us lose. At least it was part of it. So if you have answers to these heroes this early on in the tournament, I think you're in a really good spot. So trying to, using these matches while you're not, you're still trying your best, but you're still trying to come up with a way to beat Leshrac, I think is a really smart way to approach group stages. Yeah.
Did the pros expect there to be like a little mini balance patch before TI that it maybe nerf Glimmer Cape, nerf Leshrac a little bit?
I'm not really sure. Personally, I didn't expect it, but I acknowledge that there's multiple things that are borderline broken right now in the game, which maybe could have been fixed. But then again, if they were fixed, maybe we could have seen like a totally different like variety of heroes being picked right now. So I guess for the stability of the metagame and just not like shaking things up, it was better not to balance things.
This tournament has very high expectations on you guys. I think everyone's saying you guys are the favorite. I think the odds were like something like 40% that you guys win.
Yeah.
Like that's really high. What's the approach differently from last time? Because last time you guys were a big favorite too. Maybe not as big as this time, but what have you learned?
I think you just need to ignore all that stuff, to be honest. Especially for TI as a tournament, because when you go into TI as a team, usually you have like 1 month prepared where you've just been boot camping and practicing and all that kind of stuff. So what usually happens is the team changes a lot during that period of time, that 1 month or whatever. So the team you saw at Frankfurt that got like 6th place, maybe they're now like a 3rd place team, and the team that got 3rd place, maybe they improved so much that they're a 1st place team. So you can't really estimate anything before you go into the tournament. Now we're like halfway through the group stage or even more. So you can kind of assume or estimate how strong these teams are, and you can kind of base your favorites off that. But I think going into TI, everything like anyone says about who's the favorite to win is all like it's not trustworthy. You can't really. Yeah.
And I know that you especially interact a bit with the Chinese pros. What is that? You just like, that's just you're being social, you're being friendly, or is it like a understand my enemy kind of thing?
No, I think at some point we just got a bit more friendly. I don't really know.
You speak any Chinese? No?
No.
No, not at all?
Not
okay.
at all. I would have liked to learn it, but...
How did it even happen? You're just like...
I think it started with that TI4.
Mm-hmm.
Yao gave me Vita lemon tea in exchange for my autograph.
Okay.
And that was like the first.
That's what started it. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
All right. And then what have you learned about them? What's different? How do they approach it differently? What is their mindset like?
I think they're more unified in general. Like, maybe Artur comes on here and he talks about like our team and he thinks like maybe some things we're doing is wrong and he doesn't really agree with our captain or something like that. But if a Chinese player came on, I don't think there would be any of that stuff. I think they're like LGD is LGD, like completely through. Like maybe they're all alike in like their mindset and stuff. The way they act with each other, like outside of the game as well, like socially, even physically. I mean, they're like huggy and all that kind of stuff, which us Westerners aren't really. So I just think in general, they're just, I guess, more unified. Like they act more as a team, at least appearances.
They also, I mean, newbies switch 2 players after winning TI. Like that would never happen with the Western team, right?
Yeah.
Most likely you stay together. Like that, it's just, and that was completely normal. Like they just every team swap players. Who'd you say are the new and upcoming Chinese players that we need to look out for?
I guess a lot of people didn't expect maybe to be this good this tournament, but I think maybe it's like the Simile to EG, as maybe it's to LGD. I think if you're a really strong mid player and you have that captain like Jawait or PPD behind you, you just really excel like every game, which we see from players such as like Simile maybe, some others. I really like Old Chicken from like.
Old Chicken?
Yeah, from like Energy Pacemaker or something. But,
what a name.
But he's not here. In this tournament, I don't know. I think eHome in general have been looking a lot stronger than people expected to. Vici, I don't really know.
Vici's up and down. Like they look real good some games, and then some other games, it's like, what are you doing?
Cedric has been looking pretty good too. I think coming out of wildcards, they've done really well in the group. I think they have a lot of solid stuff going on. And newbie too. I think they've been looking a lot better than people expected to.
Yeah. It's funny. Like I interviewed Banana and I asked him about it, and he's just like, "This is what we expected." Like this is we didn't have the fans didn't have super high expectations for us. That makes a lot less pressure, and we know we're good, so this is how it goes.
It'd be fairly ignorant to assume that players that won TI the previous year couldn't come back the next year with like the same caliber of play. I think if you reach that height of playing, you don't really lose it. It's still there, even though you're like in a slump or whatever, but you still have that potential.
So 2016 Alliance coming back, hopefully.
Maybe IG is back next year.
I mean, IG, like on paper they look they should be like one of the best teams, right?
Yeah, but I mean that's the issue with looking at teams on paper and then seeing how they actually work. I mean I can't really speak for IG because I don't know what their like chemistry is or their dynamic.
I talked to Artur and he said that you don't take Scrim seriously. He says you just feed.
Oh come on.
He says you're 0-15 sometimes. Does that happen?
Maybe not 0-15. Like 10 is like a.
0-10, okay.
10's like the median.
All right.
No, it's like.
You have a hard time focusing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I think offlane in general. I'd say like offlane and support has a harder time with scrims because they have to do like all the shitty stuff. Okay. Like I go offlane with like Clockwork against like Scarlet Mage. I just sit there. I get harassed for like 6 minutes, and like I just lose hope in the game. Like if it was a match, of course I would try. But in a scrim, like it's quite pointless for me to play because like I don't really learn anything. I just
feel like you're dying, right?
I just sit there and I'm like really bored because I can't do anything. So I just like maybe I tab out.
You tab out.
Maybe I do some random feed because I'm not really focused. That's what happens.
She's like, I'm gonna try something here because I'm bored.
Yeah.
And it's only a scrim, so.
It's like specifically if you don't play new heroes, like if you still play your Clockwork, your Darkseer, your Tusk, you're kind of bored.
But isn't it like you need to try and make plays there so like how to push your limits in those situations? It's like probably the best way to.
Yeah, but I think I'm fairly comfortable anyway with with the heroes at this point.
So now you know when you can tap out and when you can't. Have you? But you do enjoy. Do you enjoy offlaning more?
Sometimes I look back and I feel like playing support was a lot of fun, especially with how the game has changed. I feel
Now
like
supports they have a field day
it's like a
sometimes.
completely different role.
Yeah.
I mean, I was already playing this kind of style of support, I guess, back when I was playing support.
Yeah.
But there's just so much more you can do these days with support. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind going back. I wouldn't mind staying. It's I said this before. I can pretty much play any role. I think besides mid, I would have to practice more if I were to play mid.
And the meta being different now, off lane, it's not so much about not dying anymore. It's about having to kind of pressure the guy that's there.
Yeah.
This Tusk Techies combo, everyone keeps talking about it, and it's weird because sometimes it's lets through and sometimes it's not. Do you guys still? Because I've seen you guys pick it. How valuable is it these days?
If the team doesn't know how to play against it, it's very valuable. Because it can, it ruins your safe lane pretty much if you're not prepared. Like if you don't pick up your Nagas, your Winter Wyverns, or whatever, you're gonna have a hard time against those techies. But I guess the same thing applies if you pick it against a team that like knows the combo pretty well. Like we picked it against Complexity today, and they were quite familiar with it.
They did, yeah. They handled it decently well.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys still ended up winning,
We
but
still won, but I wouldn't attribute it to Tusk Techies specifically. And then the next game they picked it too, and we were kind of prepared too. So it's like I wouldn't look at it as like a different combo from any other. Like I don't know if there's any combos nowadays, but you say like Estelina or whatever. If you don't know how to play against it, you're gonna lose. But if you're aware, it's not that bad.
in terms of the strongest competition you've played, who's stronger right now, LGD or EG? If you had to pick. Tough question.
Yeah, I think LGD has kind of showed all their cards. But at the same time, LGD has always been strong in group stages.
And they've always shown all their they never
much.
hide stuff. It's just like this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean they just do what they do and they do well, which is why they win games. EG on the other hand, I feel like they've kind of been just like sliding through the group stage. They haven't really put that much effort into it. Like they tried playing against Lustrack, they picked some wonky lineups that maybe they wouldn't pick in a serious game. So that's like the most scary thing about EG right now because we don't really know how good they are. While LGD is, I guess, I don't know. But I would still, like in that sense, I would still say that EG is scary.
Okay. So you guys have one more series left, and then a bit of a break, and then we go into the main stage. And it looks like pretty clearly you guys are going to be top 2 in the group. Do you have any ideas on which team you would pick on the other side?
Not really.
No, I haven't really thought about that yet.
I don't really know who's top 4 in that group, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, it's still up in the air.
I guess, actually, I have no idea. I don't think I looked at the points ones.
I think it's going to be a bunch of Chinese teams, maybe VP and EG. But yeah, okay.
I'd just say like we wouldn't want to pick EG because if
I think the EG's are gonna be too high anyway.
Yeah, so if we don't pick them, we're probably gonna play them. Like if all goes accordingly, we're probably gonna play them in the winners finals or something. So I guess just purposely try to avoid them. Maybe avoid some other team that's looking strong. I don't really know.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for your time. Do you have any last words? Any shout outs? And give me a call out.
I promised March I was gonna shout out him.
Okay.
He shout out my Slark.
So you don't play off lane in pubs? Do you,
if I really want to win, maybe. Like I'd pick like Tusk because he's broken in pubs. But in general, I play a lot of Pudge.
Pudge?
Yeah, I picked like Pudge like my last 8 games or something.
Okay.
At first, I won the first 4. And I was like super pumped. I thought like Pudge was the key to winning matchmaking games, and I was lost like 4 games in a row.
So we're gonna see that in the winners bracket.
Maybe last game of the tournament or group stage.
Okay.
I'll play Pudge.
All right. I'm holding you to that. I hope that happens. Okay.
So call out.
Yeah, call out.
Who did Artur call out?
Artur? I don't remember. Do you remember who we called out? Or TZ? No? Okay. Charlie. You can call out Charlie.
Alright.
For what?
For what? don't know.
For wearing
What's
that
it-
ugly Ike's Mike shirt.
It's not ugly.
No, I have one of those.
Yeah,
They're
it's a
awesome.
cool shirt. No,
Okay.
something else. What can you flame Charlie for?
He's basically Sumel's servant these days. He has to
Alright.
do everything for him. He had to fix his toilet.
Really?
Yeah.
The one up here?
Yeah.
The clogged?
Charlie, he's like a maid now, so you can call him out for that.
Charlie then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks and good luck. Tomorrow, I hope we get to see that fun pick.
I can't promise anything, but yeah.